Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to another edition of the Jazz Albums Review Series. And today I'm going to be taking a look at a brand new 2023 release from guitarist and composer Lage Lund. And this is his newest recording for the Criss Cross Jazz label, Most Peculiar. So this is the first album since 2019's Terrible Animals, so that's well over 4 years now since Lage Lund has recorded and released an album featuring new material. And this album, Most Peculiar, is a continuation of Terrible Animals, and it's a quartet setting once again. And the lineup is completely different to the last album. So we have here Lage Lund on guitar, Sullivan Fortner on piano, Matt Brewer on bass, and Tyshawn Sorey on drums. So, an amazing band. All four musicians are highly respected band leaders in their own right, and each member individually are just outstanding players. Matt Brewer, of course, is no stranger to the Criss Cross Jazz label. He's played on many iconic albums over the years. Tyshawn Sorey is, of course, best known for his current and long association as a main collaborator for pianist Vijay Iyer, and Sullivan Fortner is not so well known out of this quartet, but he is far from a slouch and is an amazing piano player. So we've got 10 tracks here, and they're all Lage Lund originals. And this album, as I said, it's a continuation of Terrible Animals. And listening to this, it sounds like a Pat Metheny album. Lage Lund, he's been experimenting with lots of different effects and sounds on his guitar. I think there's even some guitar synths in there somewhere. It definitely sounded like there was some guitar synthesizer. And, compared to his earlier albums, which were much more in the line of traditional jazz guitar, the last couple of albums for Lage Lund definitely have been showcasing more of his experimental side. At times when I listen to this album, it sounds like the Pat Metheny group, and at other times it sounds like Kurt Rosenwinkel. So I can definitely hear some influences from those guys, but Lage Lund is very much his own man with his own original voice. So let's have a look. Even the album cover looks very similar to, Terrible Animals. Let's have a look. So there is notes provided by Ted Panken about this album. So as I mentioned, this is Lage Lund's sixth recording as a band leader for Criss Cross Jazz, and a little bit about what the concept of this album is all about. And Lage Lund explains here this is more of a mental health project, so that's quite interesting. And there's some more notes here as well. And some more notes as well, and there's like a little breakdown of each track, what they're all about. So let's have a look here. And yeah, there's some more here. As I said, just a more of a breakdown of each track individually. And there you are. So it's a very enjoyable album. As I said, a bit more on the experimental side for Lage Lund, but it's still very much all him. So it's a really good album. So tracks we got here are Cigarettes, Trees, Circus Island, Warsaw, Elephants, Stone Age, Lost in Your Hometown, Antarctica, Bad Acrobat, and Horses. So as I said, this album is all original Lage Lund compositions, so they're all written and composed by the man himself. Great piano playing by Sullivan Fortner, who matches up very well with Lage Lund's guitar, so They create a very beautiful sound together. Matt Brewer and Tyshawn Sorey, they work very well together as a rhythm section. Great solid bass playing from Brewer and great drumming from Sorey. The whole band, they just sound absolutely amazing and they're really on fire. So standout tracks for me are Cigarettes, Circus Island, Elephants, Stone Age, Antarctica, and Horses. But a very good, enjoyable, solid album by Lage Lund. And we had to wait over 4 years for his next album, but it was definitely well worth the wait. And as I said, it's more or less a continuation from his 2019 recording, Terrible Animals, but really, really good. And I love Lage Lund. He's one of my favorite guitar players and has been for quite some time now. And, this was definitely well worth the wait. And as soon as this came out, I didn't really need to hear it because I know it's going to be good and I kind of know what to expect from Lage Lund. And he's at his best, in my opinion, in trio or quartet. So guitar, bass, and drums, or guitar, piano, bass, and drums. He does work well with sax players, but it depends on who the sax player is. But for me, he works very well in either a trio environment or a quartet environment with a pianist. I think that's where he shines the most, and that's where his guitar playing is really on full display. So there you have it, Lage Lund, Most Peculiar. Very good album. If you're familiar with the Criss Cross Jazz label, highly recommend you check this album out. It's really good. And you can't go wrong with musicians like Sullivan Fortner, Matt Brewer, and Tyshawn Sorey. They're world class musicians in their own right. So there you have it. Lage Lund, Most Peculiar. Excellent stuff. So that's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now. What's your favourite track from Lage Lund Most Peculiar? Is it Cigarettes, Trees, Circus Island, Warsaw, Elephants, Stone Age, Lost in Your Hometown, Antarctica, Bad Acrobat, or Horses? Or do you enjoy the whole album from start to finish? There's no right or wrong answer. We all have our favourite tracks. You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below. And I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Jazz Albums Review Series. And make sure you keep an eye out for a future edition of this series where I'm going to be talking about Lage Lund's entire catalogue of albums. So make sure you don't miss that. So until next time, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.